So life is meaningless. Yeah, what do you think about that? We really do assign our own meaning to things. I've done it, walked around and said to myself, why is this happening? Why is this happening? I'm asking the question and then I'm searching for that answer. And I am making it up as I go along because I really don't know. I really don't know. And maybe there is just that meaning we assign. And where are we getting that meaning from? How are we deciding that this has a particular meaning? I know for me, most of the time it's dictated by how I'm feeling in the moment. So if I'm feeling fueled up spiritually, if I am in a place of faith and knowing and deep conviction, then I've got meanings that are life-affirming and poetic and beautiful and things I would want to share with just about anybody, and they're just lovely and wonderful. And yet, there are times when I'm not feeling that. And the meaning I give something is dark and scary and full of doubt. And I let myself sit with that. So it's interesting to hear that and then check in with myself and wonder, perhaps I could step forward and start assigning meaning from a much different place. I've said before in probably prior Easter Sundays, that Good Friday, Jesus' time in Gethsemane, and then his death actually has quite a bit of meaning for me. And I think about it a lot. I have thought about it a lot, about that moment when a man is looking towards something that he knows he's called to, and it feels big, and it feels scary. I'm sure it was blood-curdlingly terrifying on some level. And this is after everything that happened during that week leading up to Good Friday, what we call Passion Week. All the things that happened, all the feelings of abandonment, having his friends, his disciples, the people he had walked through in those years of his ministry, deny him and turn from him and fall asleep when he needed him. He's in Gethsemane, wondering, where are you? I need you. And you bums are out here falling asleep. In my hour of need, probably my greatest need ever, and y'all are off doing your own thing. And yet we each get there in that same place where it's just us and God. I'm often there in the middle of the night when I wake up and something I'm dealing with runs up on me and runs me over. And for a couple of minutes, I'm terrified. I'm terrified. And I know I'm terrified. And I'm sitting there saying, I don't want to be terrified. And why am I terrified? Because rationally I know, and my practice is every day that I am one with the Father. Like Jesus always said before he worked a miracle, he claimed his oneness with God. I do in those moments of terror, when I've broken out in that cold sweat and it's dark and I don't want to wake my husband up again. Because I know I should be able to do this. I've been here in this place of terror before, and it is just me and God. And when it really comes down to it, and I think about it, if I'm thinking about my own mortality, if I'm thinking about my hour of death, it's just going to be me and God. I don't know. Doesn't matter how many people may be surrounding my bed, if I'm sitting in bed, or I don't know. Hopefully I'm going to be on the beach watching the waves coming in. And I got my headphones in, listening to the prettiest music ever. Hopefully that's where that's going to happen. At least that's the order I have submitted to the universe. That's where my last moments will be. But it'll be just me and God. It'll be just me and God. And here I've said just me and God as if that's not enough. As if just you and God is not enough. Because in those moments of terror, that's when we need to realize that just us and God is everything. Is everything. And I think that's where Jesus got to. As he was kneeling in the Garden of Gethsemane, looking towards what was coming. And as he asked for that cup to be taken from him, probably I'm just creating this, in the back of his mind, rationally he knew all the miracles I've performed, I have claimed and I have invoked my oneness with God. And here I am again, and I can do it right here in this, but this feels bigger. And if we claim our oneness with God, there is nothing bigger. There isn't. And believe me, as I say this to you this morning, I am saying it to myself. Because stuff is showing up. There is nothing bigger than God consciousness. Nothing. So when it is just you and God, when it's just me and God, all the power in the universe is within me. When it's just you and God, all the power of the universe is within you. Yeah. We need to claim that. Yeah. Yes. And so it is. And so it is. And that's where we need to get. That is our resurrection moment. When you know, not just think, that you know that in that moment you are everything with God, in God, as God. And then you step forward into life. It's usually when I get that, when I claim that, when I have in my heart said, and so it is. that I fall back to sleep. And that's when I really rest. And that's when I'm really peaceful. And I go like that until I hit that brick wall again, and that moment of fear comes up. And then you go back. You practice. That's mastery that Neil Donald Walsh was talking about in that reading. That is mastery. When you go back to the truth. When you go back to the truth. And maybe you don't have to work as hard this time, because if you keep doing it and you keep practicing, then it's really only a thought and a breath that can take you back. And maybe all you have to say is, and so it is. I know this. I know this. And you let that deal with the fear. And you let that minimize whatever it is that you have made so big in your imagination, that I make so big in my imagination. God, consciousness encompasses all things. Always was, always will be. Is the source of everything. And when we bring that power to whatever situation or circumstance we are in, it heals that. Whatever it is you want to let go of, it eradicates that. Whatever it is you say yes to starts to overflow into your life in ways that you could not imagine. Because if we truly trust in God as source, as God as all power and might, encompassing all ideas, all billions and billions and billions of possibilities in this world, when we trust that, then it can overflow into our life in a way that our rational minds cannot conceive of. We just have to be willing, like Jesus was, to say yes. He said yes in the garden. He got to yes at some point and stepped forward into his destiny and showed us this can happen. This shall happen. And you will rise up as I did. And you will rise as I did. So we're at choice in every moment, every single moment. Every single moment we can rise. And doesn't matter how many times you fall down, you can rise. Doesn't matter how hard you fall, you can rise. It doesn't matter how hard you feel punched by life, you can rise. And some of us are getting hit really hard, over and over again. Yeah, you're in the ring, aren't you? You're in the boxing ring. And life is dressed up like Mike Tyson. And you're the bag. And he's did it. Life is like that some days. Yeah. And still, there's nothing greater than God consciousness. There's nothing greater than that kingdom of God that is within you. And so remembering that affirmation, the kingdom of God is within me now and always, is maybe the most powerful prayer we can pray. The kingdom of God is within me now and always. And in metaphysics, the kingdom of God is you, expressing as you, now and always. You are that force. If God is everywhere, omnipresent, then it's in you and through you. Every cell of your body is divine goodness. Every cell of your body. And we just have to say yes. And so it is. And thank you. So let's take this in a meditation. And so in your heart of hearts, I invite you to say, I invite you to say yes to God consciousness. The kingdom of God expresses as me, lives within me, whichever way you need to hold it in your heart, whichever words you need, whatever meaning you assign to a particular word, use what resonates with your heart. For God always meets us where we are. Always. And know that in this moment, God is expressing in you and as you. And that God's consciousness not only has your back, but is surrounding you, is lifting you, supporting you, is working through you. Every breath that you take, you are breathing in God. With every exhale, you can let go of whatever it is that doesn't serve you. Whatever it is that confronts you here and now, is nothing compared to God consciousness. It's nothing compared to the power of God consciousness that expresses as you right now in this moment. You have only to claim it. You have only to give thanks for it. And harnessed it in relation to whatever it is you're confronting. Just breathe and relax. Letting go of worry, fear, and doubt. Knowing that you can rise with the next breath. In the very next breath. You can be set free in your heart and mind of whatever it is you're confronting. Because you have set God consciousness upon it. Just relax and know that there is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. Life is precious and good. And we can live fully, boldly, joyfully, gratefully. And bless not only our own lives, but the lives of all those we come in contact with. Bless the lives of those that we think about and pray for. As we live firmly in our God consciousness, we raise the consciousness of this planet, of all humanity. We raise the frequency of life, and all things can be healed. So let's take a deep breath in together. Hold it at the top, exhale. Inhale again. Exhale. So we give thanks for peace and rest. We give thanks for love and joy. We give thanks for the opportunity to rise in each moment. We give thanks for the opportunity to choose in each moment what our experience of life will be. We give thanks. We give thanks. And we declare it truth and we declare it good. And we say, and so it is. So while we're here in this moment of peace,